Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the FGA Report. I am Brian Smith, and with me is Adam Hopkins, class of 2023 wide receiver, Thomas County Central High School, Thomasville, Georgia. Adam, good to see you again, buddy. Glad to have you on the show. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. As you know, Thomasville in the greater South Georgia area is my favorite in the country for football because the fans are just wacko.
Yes,
On
sir.
Friday nights, if you're not at the game, you're alone because everybody else in your town is at the game.
It's that game.
Yes, that's what I like about it, man. Football, it's my life. I know it's your life too, and that's what we're here to talk about. Your hometown is about as quote unquote football centric as it gets.
Mhm.
There's just no other way to describe it. And while you and I can explain it to people, and I post this to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, it's not the same. You literally need to go to a game. Doesn't have to be Thomas County Central, but
Exactly.
Valdosta, Colquitt, Tift County, somebody, Ware County, you need to get your butt in the seats and see what it's like on a Friday night and get there early because you may not
Exactly.
get a seat. It's
Might not get
legit.
seats.
Yeah, it's legit, depending on who plays. Like
Mm-hmm.
I went and saw Warner Robins play at Ware County this year. That's something I'm never going to forget. And I've been to games across the country.
Mm-hmm.
They filled a minor league baseball stadium.
I know it.
It was rocking, boy. It was rocking. So that is awesome, and I love it. So for those of you that don't know, tell everybody a little bit about your size and some of that kind of stuff, like and how big you were last year and what you want to be this next year, like weight and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. So when I started, probably like my 9th grade year, I was probably like a good 150, like 152,
Okay.
150s. I was.
You're a lot bigger now.
Yes, sir. I'm like 170 right now. So like my goal is really like 185, 190 around there. So I just been trying to work hard in the weight room to get my weight up and stuff because probably like now snap grab really when lifting weights like I was supposed to. But
Well,
I'm 185, so I'm like 173 right now. So I'm a little close to 180. So if I get there, I'll be good.
well, you have the problem that I do not. You need to eat more. I need to eat less.
Exactly.
It's that. Trust me, your problem will switch at some point in life. But it is what it is. You're running a little more than most people, to say the least. For people out there that don't know, Adam is one of the top recruits in the class of 23, regardless of position.
Yes, sir.
A&M is offered, Georgia. He's got Florida State, and he's got quite a few others. I know you grew up a Florida State fan, and for those of you who don't know as well, Thomasville, 30 minutes, give or take?
Yeah, like 30 minutes away.
Yeah, something like that. So that's understandable. And you just told me before we came on the air, you're headed up to Tally or down to Tally this weekend.
Yes,
Check
sir.
it out. What is it like when at any time technically you could drop it and just say, you know what, I'm going to school X? Like you're in a better position than most of the kids that I interview on this show. Is that a sense of relief or do you think much about it?
Like right now, so like I'm going into like my 12th grade year. So now I really start thinking about it more, like, cause at first, I was just really trying to focus on my grades, not really trying to worry about all the other stuff. But me knowing they're still there and I'm still communicating. But like right now, like I'm thinking about it. It's kind of a lot, but not really. You just gotta know where your heart at. You feel me? Like you just gotta know exactly where you wanted to fit in perfect at.
Well, that's a part of it, man. If you're miserable,
Yeah.
College needs to be at least a little bit of fun. I know part of it sucks,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what institution an individual selects. But yeah, can you survive at school X if football is taken away? Is the old saying, and it's still true.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to think about. As far as your recruitment goes, do you want to get this out of the way fairly early? Like Under Armour is going to be here again.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you up in Atlanta, and I'm sure you'll be there again this year in March. You trying to get it done before or after, like spring? When do you want to try to make your final decision?
Probably after my 12th grade year. So like it could be a lot going on. I could probably commit now, then something else can pop up that's gonna be real good for me. So I'm just waiting my 12th grade year, probably after or before. Really don't know, but when I get that chance to realize or think like, oh yeah, this is where I need to be. That's when I'm just make my decision.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being convinced in your mind, but also seeing what happens. Because I just got a message about a coach at a prominent school. He had just convinced a bunch of guys to come back, and then he took another job.
Mm-hmm. See,
that's what I mean. Like It was his alma mater he went to, and he didn't know the offer was going to happen. It happened out of the blue, but that's football. Again,
Exactly.
can you be happy if that coach leaves? That's kids don't want to hear that,
Hmm.
but that's reality, brother. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's reality. So football happens, and that means change is inevitable. So for any recruits out there learning anything from this podcast, there is no such thing as a guarantee in football. Every
Hmm.
single play could be your last. So
Exactly.
um, you and I have known each other for a while, and I've seen you work out at the Under Armour event. I watched you work out at a field. Your habits are very good, and you don't technically, beyond your own dad, have a trainer.
Mm.
What are some of the things that you do? Like you and I both know AJ Harris over in Phoenix said he got
Exactly.
three trainers. What are you doing to stay on top of your game and to be a quote unquote top notch recruit?
Basically, just working on every single thing in my craft I can do. Footwork, that's gotta be one.
Sure.
I also start like working on other stuff like that's gonna help, like just like little things in during games. Cause it's just not always about big things, or you can score a touchdown, or you can it's really about little things. Or can you block? Can
Oh
you
yeah.
exactly like can you make something happen, just little things. So work on little things and just really get through it. It's just work, progressing.
To say the least, when you said, can you block? Receiver coaches around the country, and many will see this, just thought about offering you a scholarship because you might be the first kid I've ever heard on one of my podcasts say they wanted to block as a receiver. Not a new lineman. Receivers hate blocking. They can tell me whatever they want. You're the first one that I've seen bring that up unsolicited. So good for you. Um, Blocking in the screen game in particular, if it's done, like if you watch Alabama and Clemson, I think they do it about as well as anybody over the last 5 years.
Hmm.
Especially, of course, when Alabama had Devontae,
Exactly.
that wasn't even fair. If you set a block for him, it's going to
Gone.
go. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So y'all got to work with each other, and that's something I don't think. Like I live in Tampa, and some of the Central Florida kids, I don't think a lot of them really understand just how important it is. Because when I set a block for you, then the next time we reverse it,
Exactly.
you keep moving. If you keep getting first downs, maybe it only gets 5 yards, maybe it only gets 5 yards. But as soon as somebody makes a defender miss and you way outside, it's deuces. That's 6
Exactly.
points. So that's why good for you, man. Blocking matters. And receiver coaches, most of the guys that I know in the craft, like I used to know Urban Meyer real well, you didn't block. You were standing next to him catching just as many passes as he did in the game. He did
Exactly.
not care how many stars you had next to your name on rivals. He did not care. And
Yeah.
that's why his teams won. It was about a team mentality in that regard.
Hmm.
So
Family.
absolutely, absolutely. So you do a lot of the little things and you train. And I know because I know a lot of the kids, even though you're rivals with Thomasville High, you guys all know each. I mean, you're in the same town. There's probably not more than 30,000 people in your town or whatever. You
Exactly.
guys all hang around each other and you go different places. And like I told you before the show came on, I want to take some of the guys from Florida and Georgia up to Atlanta,
Hmm.
do some stuff with AJ and some of the different guys with Route King and all that. I know you're down. What are you trying to work on when you go to events like that where there's other 4 and 5 star players? What do you need to work on to get your game better?
Uh, Things I need to probably work on and get myself together and better. Probably just releases. Like,
Oh,
cause
sure.
cause some of my releases I probably do is probably be the same thing. So like, if anybody watch on like a DB watching my film, they can look at me. Oh, he just do this one thing. I just need more like releases to get up. I'm not saying just to get open and get off the press or anything like that. So I probably say my release. My release is probably the main thing, which I'm working on now. So I'm trying to get better at my release.
That is the one thing when you face a guy like AJ or somebody like that, if they figure it out
Exactly.
with their height and length,
It's over with.
yeah, it's they're gonna be on top of you and you can't stack them.
Mhm.
So if you can't stack a guy like that, it ain't going down. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a big deal, and the guys that work on the craft like you do will eventually get it and get more moves. Once you get 3 or 4 that you're truly comfortable with,
Mhm.
then teams don't press you as much because they know they're going to get beat. But until you do, I don't care how much speed you have. I don't care if you're Jalen Brown, who I think is probably the fastest kid in the country in your class down at Miami Gulliver Prep. If you can't get off bump, speed's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get off bump.
Exactly.
So the best teams in the NFL on defense, what do they run? Cover one,
Mm-hmm.
because they challenge you. So that's what it's all about. As far as what you have for advice for kids, is there anything like you got a bunch of offers? You go pretty much where you want. What would you tell kids that don't have many offers or none at all? What do they have to do in terms, it doesn't have to be receiver. What do they need to do to help themselves get better and get more notice from college coaches?
For sure, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You work on your craft. That's one. And really you probably need to go to a lot of camps, because I really didn't never go to no camps. Like I probably wouldn't even be noticeable, you know, coming from a small town, people just only from my town, oh yeah, he's good. Woo, woo. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like go to camps otherwhere, probably like Atlanta, Florida, somewhere. Every time you go, people got eyes on you. You probably don't know that, but people always have eyes on you. Everywhere you go, they might not talk to you, but they have eyes on you. Because half of the, like, I didn't know half the camps I've been going to, college coaches got like access to. Like they looking at that type of thing. So camps, that's always 100% sure you need to go to camps. You get yourself exposure and everything. That's good for one. And basically during games, just do little things. Little things gonna always get you up there. I didn't know that until like my coach really sat down with me and talked to me about that. Like you probably you know, so he probably like you guys think that making big plays, catching all of it, that do matter, but what really matters is little things. You know, running full speed off a route, even though you know it's a run play. You know,
Oh, sure.
blocking everything, just such small things like that. The coaches will look at if you just coming off lazy. Oh, and he really don't want to play. That's how coaches go intention to that. So basically, little things and going to camps and putting yourself out there, exposure yourself.
When I was talking with a receiver coach a few years back, that's one of the things that actually came up. Watching, like and I've been told this many times, but I'd rather watch game film as opposed to highlights, because then you see, like if an offensive lineman's on the right and they run to the left, do they still really do their block?
Mm-hmm.
If a guy's on a screenplay, like we were talking earlier, does that receiver block for you and vice versa? What do they do when they do not get directly involved with the play?
Exactly.
And if you don't, the really good coaches, they pass you by.
Mm-hmm.
So especially if it's a player that doesn't have your God-given ability and speed and everything, you could play corner or whatever you wanted. That's very important. For anybody out there, trust me, there's a reason that your coach says you need to do the little things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just him wanting you to help the high school team. You will help yourself get recruited. That is 100% true. You've obviously heard it from your coach, and good for him. And I've heard it from a lot of guys that hand out scholarships. So they kind of count in this equation because they're the only ones that do that. Exactly. So, well, once again, I can't wait to get you up. I'll let you know when it happens. We're going to do some stuff in Atlanta. Going to bring some of the Florida ain't got no shortage of receivers and DBs. That's the one thing we got down here.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. So
you got a lot.
And I'll just pick you up on the way up from Thomasville. But I'm looking forward to it. Nothing like Atlanta, man. It's the best of the best. Everybody's got a trainer, or if you're AJ, you got 3. That's still crazy to me. You got 3 trainers. But anyway, yeah. But I look forward to it. Stick with me here real quick. But for those of you out there, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. Some of the South Georgia kids, I love South Georgia players. So make sure you check it out. Everybody have a good night.